this is how Pokemon catch rates are calculated. So in Generation 1, a Master Ball, which is purple, and it has an M on it, they have a 100% chance of catch rate, and you only get one of them in the game. So really, you should really prioritize using it on only catching like a shiny or Mewtwo. So yeah, Master Ball is the best Pokeball in the game. The second best, well, actually, every other Pokeball, they have at least a 99% chance, or at least a 1% chance of failing, which means they're fallible, they're not consistent, and they're not a good way of guaranteeing that a Pokemon will be caught. Um, so you're probably wondering at this point, how do I guarantee that Pokemon will be caught? Well, at this point, I should probably explain to you how our in Pokemon. And basically, in Pokemon, there are 255 unique RNG values, and this number varies depending on the kind of Pokeball you're using. So the number will be higher if you're using just a standard issue Pokeball, the one with the red top, and it will be, and this number will be lower if you're using something like a Great Ball, which is a blue top. And what's interesting about this is, if you press and hold B on the, so you know how when a Pokeball, when you use it on a Pokemon, it twitches like bit it, bit it, bit it, and twitches 3 times before you catch it, or it just breaks free. Well, if it's going to break free anyways, it will always twitch at least 3 times. In the first generation, it will twitch 3 times before, and the Pokemon will bust out, and the text will say, "Oh, you were so close." So what you can do is, on the second twitch, right after the ball twitches for the second time, it goes boo boo, and on that, and as soon as the second twitch starts, you need to press and hold B, and that will increase your chance of catching the Pokemon successfully to 100%. You'll have a 100% chance clear rate, and no one really knows why the devs of Pokemon made it that way. People think perhaps it was a glitch, or maybe they purposely did it to make catching Pokemon easier. No one really knows, but that is a really cool trick you can use. Now that we got past the basics of catching Pokemon, let me walk you through how beat Pokemon red, blue, yellow, or green. So you start out at this house right in Pallet Town. The wild grass is up here. Lots of wild grass over here, and you need to obtain a Pokemon first. So you should head down to Professor Oak's lab. It's down here. It's past this house and like a bunch of gates or whatever. So you leave your room, you walk all the way down here, and then your rival's gonna be there, and he's gonna, "Oh, Professor Oak is not here. He's missing. He's been abducted or something." And so it's like, "I'm waiting for Gramps." And so what you have to do is you have to go into the tall grass. Now this may sound like a bad idea at first, considering the fact that there's rats and pigeons out there, but no worries, because the professor will come out from absolutely nowhere and stop you before you reach the grass and be like, "Hey, come to my lab. I'll give you a choice between 3 Pokemon." And those 3 Pokemon will be Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. I'm gonna mark them with the respective colors. So blue is Squirtle, green is Bulbasaur, oops, and orange is Charmander. And so the trick is, you want to always choose, okay, so it depends on how you want to play the game. If you want to beat the game as fast as possible, use Squirtle. If you want to beat the game as easily as possible, use Bulbasaur. And if you want a cool, sick dragon by the end of your playthrough, pick Charmander. So the trick to Bulbasaur is the first two gyms you fight are going to be rock type and water type, and it just so happens that green is extremely effective against both of these, and that'll just give you some easy XP. By the time you've beaten the first two gyms, you should have enough strong Pokemon to take on the third gym after that in Cerulean or Saffron or whatever. I forget because I never made it that far. Um, Either way, Bulbasaur, it evolves the earliest out of the three starters, and it's super effective against the first two gyms, which is the furthest I ever made in any Pokemon playthrough. Squirtle, apparently, I watched like 2 Summoning Salts videos on this. He's always the speedrunners, they always use Squirtle, so I guess he's the fastest or whatever. The one I always pick though, it was either Charmander or Bulbasaur. The last one I played with, I think, was Charmander, and I chose Charmander because even though you're weak against the first two gyms, it's fine because you get a dragon out of it. He's like the only dragon in Gen 1, which makes him extremely rare and therefore one of the best Pokemons out there. And it doesn't even matter because you can sort of just catch a butterfly in the Vermilion Forest before heading to Brock anyways. It's no big deal. Just catch one, it evolves at level 10, and it learns like a psychic type move, which is super effective against rock and is also OP in the first generation. Just use that to destroy both Brock and Misty, and after you're done with that, travel through the caves, you travel through the two first cities, and um, finish boarding the SS-An. I recommend you catch an I recommend you catch an Abra. I forgot what he looks like, but I think he holds like a spoon or something. Anyways, he'll always try to teleport away from you the first chance he gets. So what you have to do is you have to use the Master Ball that you obtained from the Team Rocket's secret hideout on him, because if you don't, he's just gonna teleport away and you'll never get him. And because of how rare a Psychic type, of how powerful Psychic type Pokemon are in the first generation, because they have no weaknesses except for bug type moves, but there are no bug type attacks in the first gen, so really they're invincible. And also the fact that they do super high special attack damage to anyone who they fight, making them by far the best. Anyways, just catch one with your Master Ball or whatever, and just level one up. At the end of the road, before you go into the cave, there's this one guy who's trying to sell you his fish for 500 yen. Don't take the deal, it's an awful trade. The Pokemon is awful, its stats are awful, and it doesn't even evolve into anything useful. I think it was called a Carp or something. Anyways, don't make the trade. And yeah, I think that's the end of the tutorial.